All right, what are we talking about today? Again, the Glock 43. This is my favorite EDC. I carry this all the time just because, most of us aren't going to run into a situation where you need a 40 billion rounds or whatever. So I wanted to talk about the magazines, though, because, of course, as we know, this seems a little anemic, so to speak, because it's in factory form only a 6+1. In today's modern era of guns this size that are at least 10+1, that makes the G43, kind of on the low capacity side. So here's my top 3 favorite magazine options. So if you need the lowest profile, highest capacity magazine for this build, you're gonna have to do some searching, because you have to put 3 products together. You need a Glock OEM magazine, you need a Magguts +1 kit, and you need a Terran Tactical +1 base pad. That, +1 should equal +2, right? Well, yes, that is correct. This will give you +2 and only 1/8 of an inch penalty right here. So, of course, as you guys know, the hardest section to conceal is the width here. So if you keep this short, that's going to keep your concealability down, right? So that's why this combination of magazine is incredibly good. So you get a +2 with only 1/8 of an inch longer than the factory magazine. Then, if you want to move up to something a little better for your grip, you can do the same exact thing with a Pearce +1 and a Magguts +1 in the OEM Glock magazine. So this will also give you +2, right? It's a little bit longer, so that part kind of sucks because it makes it harder to conceal, right? You can see, we'll compare it here, that's quite a bit bigger. Not a great comparison, right? But the good part about this is, you can get, and my hands are size large glove, you can get your pinky finger on there almost all the way. I'll show it on the other hand, right? So, I've got 3/4 of my pinky on there, so it's a very good grip, right? So that's another one. Oh, this functions flawlessly so far. Same thing with the other magazine that I showed you, this guy, right? And then if you want the ultimate in capacity and, of course, concealability, you're going to talk about the Shield Z9. So I have 8 of these. I bought them as soon as they came out, and so far, it's been like 2 years almost, right? And they work flawlessly. I've had exactly one failure to feed, which was actually from this magazine. I know because I used the little grids. This is number 0 for me. This is my first and primary magazine, because this one it worked flawlessly the first time I put it in. And the last range session I had 1 failure to feed. And this is probably 3,000 plus rounds through all of these magazines in total, which I have 8, so it's not, super high volume through each, but 1 failure to feed out of this one. So I emailed Shield and I said, hey, I had 1 failure to feed. I was expecting them to just send me 1 spring for this 1 magazine. Well, they asked me how many mags I had. I told them 8. They sent me 8 springs, so that was super cool. So this mag, this is my EDC mag, right? The reason why it is because it's not a big penalty over, say, this magazine, right? So this is 8 rounds versus 9 rounds. So you don't get a huge penalty here, but you get 1 more round. So then that increases the round count for this to 9 + 1 = 10, which is very nice for such a small and thin package. That's where this one still excels over some of those other options, from SIG and from Springfield, is that it's very thin, very, very thin, right? So that one is my EDC, but if you need something that is more concealable, then you're going to grab your Terran Tactical, which has Magguts +1 with Terran Tactical +1 = +2. This is currently the shortest +2 that you're going to get. Like I said, only a 1/8 of an inch penalty for 2 more rounds. That's pretty good. And, I can only get like 1/4 of my pinky on this one, but I put a little piece of grip tape there. So that actually does help out. It's not as good. or if you want the ultimate as far as grip goes, at least in my opinion. And of course, you can get the longer ones like the you can get the ETS with the 9-round mag, which is way longer if you have way bigger hands, but that's just not super practical for carry. This one, and you could, I've done it like on one of my Glock 26 with the Pearce extension. You can grind off a little bit on the bottom and get yourself back a little bit more concealability there. But this one adds to the overall control when you're shooting this thing. So thanks, guys.